Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and happy 2026. So over the past week, I did a lot of work to reflect on my vision for 2026 and how I wanted to approach this year. I prepared a vision board, I journaled, I really reflected on my 2025, and I thought that this exercise was really beneficial for me, and I just kind of wanted to share with you a 5 easy step framework for those of you who also want to do this exercise for the new year. So if you want to try something new, and if it's your first time doing anything like this, well, I hope that this simple framework can help you get started. I've honestly been doing this like for my whole adulthood. I kind of perfected it over the years, and I really do think that this changes the way I live my life. And I feel like I live my life with so much more intention now, and hopefully motivate you to do it as well. So without further ado, here are 5 easy steps on how to prepare for your 2026. So the first step I want to share with you is to reflect on your 2025. I'm someone that really believes that you cannot move forward without knowing where you are now. So it's really important to assess where you are now, how you're feeling now, and especially how the last 365 days have contributed to making you feel this way at this moment. So I think it's really important because before even setting goals, it's so important to know what you're even working with. So, for example, I have a marketing major, and my goal for 2026 is not going to be to become a 100K top chemist by the end of January. And I know that because I know where I am. I know what I have. Now, could I ever become a chemist? Of course, like miracles can happen, but I think it's so much easier to set realistic goals for yourself, and it's also so much more motivating. Maybe my first step will just be to go back to university and study chemistry. Maybe that's going to be my goal for 2026. But obviously, I can only do that because I know where I am now and I know what I'm working with. So the way I usually go about these reflections for 2025, I usually go by themes. So I'll think about friendships, I'll think about family, I'll think about love, work, career, hobbies. Work and career is kind of the same thing. Studying if you're a student. And I'm sure I'm forgetting some themes because some themes like really apply to my life, but you might have even more dimension. Like for example, I don't know, maybe you're an athlete and you want to reflect on sports and your performance, or maybe you're something else. I have no other examples, sorry. I think it's really important to reflect on how you felt about these dimensions in your life. And it's also important to know what went wrong, but also what went right as well. And with that, I feel like it also makes you feel more confident into knowing what you want for 2026. So I'm going to give you some journal prompts that maybe can help you start with these reflections because I know it might be intimidating at first. For me, like, I feel like when I started reflecting on my 2025, I was just like, what happened this year? And I also had to go through my photo album to just like go back up and see what happened and what I took pictures of to kind of have an idea of what even happened this year because I felt like it passed by in a flash. I don't know if it's just me, but it was just so quick. So feel free to screenshot. Here are the prompts. All right, so the second thing that I want you to do for this reflection thing is to evaluate what you want to change or what you want to do, what you want to keep doing in 2026. And I want you to not only just write, like, I want to do this. This part is really to reflect on, like, hey, I did this in 2025 and, like, this is how it went. But in 2026, I really want to do this. For example, in 2025, one of my goals was to get a hobby, right? Because I felt like I barely had any hobby. I was so focused on my career change, which I did career change successfully, which was great. But in 2025, I just wanted to have fun. So, for example, for me, one of my goals for 2026 is to be more intentional about my career. And the way that I wanted to be more intentional with my career is to really take steps in order to move it forward. So, right now, I work as a quality assurance analyst in tech, and I really do enjoy my job. But I definitely think I can push myself even more. I'm still young, and I'm just wondering where else I can go and what other skills I can gain this year. For you, maybe your goal is to make more friends. Maybe your goal is to, I don't know, have more hobbies, go to the gym more. But also, I just want to remind you, you don't have to do it all in one year. You don't need to try to change everything at the same time. And if you're like, whatever, like, I'm going to do whatever I want, I don't care what you say, like, I'm going to do everything and it's going to work. It might, honestly, I don't want to discourage you. It really might work if you like really put in the work. But I definitely think that it's better to be like to almost lessen your goals a little bit, just this way you get less discouraged. I love to cuddle myself personally, and I'm gonna give an example of one of my 2025 goals was to get more hobbies. I was so focused on my career switch to tech in my early 20s, and I still really like tech. It's just like that was the only thing. Like I was eating, breathing, sleeping tech. That's not that's not, anyways, whatever. But yeah, like I was just really passionate about tech, and I'm still really passionate about tech, but I just wanted to have other hobbies that were more creative, because at my core I am a creative person. I'm a writer, I like pottery, like I rejoice in creativity, and I wanted things to feel less a hobby that exists because I want to make it my career, and more of a hobby that exists because I want to have fun. So I picked pottery as my one hobby I wanted to join, even though my general goal was to get more hobbies. And then I felt more confident to join other hobbies because I knew I could try something new and like I'll survive to being mediocre, which I know sounds like a stupid lesson to learn at this late in life, but your girl has fears, what can I say? I do not like failure. But after that, after pottery, I joined salsa, I tried flying trapeze, I tried improv randomly, and I just like started saying yes to so many more things. And yeah, like some things I did not enjoy as much, but I just think like my year was so full of hobbies, and that's because that's something that I wanted to change, and I also made sure not to make it something inconceivable. So this part of the reflection is really to go into details about why you feel that way, why you want to change those things, and how you're going to do it. So now we're going to move on to my favorite part. Now that you evaluated what happened in the last year and you know what you want to change in the new year, choose a few mindsets that you want to adopt and that you think you need in order to realize those goals. I'm someone that's all about mindset shift, especially like I need to start talking about that book, whatever, I'll mention that book. Since I read that book, I really learned about the growth and fixed mindset, and I never realized how much of a fixed mindset I had in life. And the 1 year after I read that book, I adopted a growth mindset, and it completely changed my life. And it doesn't need to be like as big as like changing from a growth mindset to a fixed mindset. Sometimes it can be something small, like my mindset is going to be authentic because I want to make more friends and I want to make sure I attract people that are similar to me. And also, if you're just going in and you just have these goals, I definitely think it's possible to realize them, but I think it's even better when you're also changing the way you think about how you're approaching it. For example, if I had the same goal in 2025 and I didn't reach it, and I'm approaching 2026 with the exact same mindset and the exact same goal, well, what's going to change? So I'm going to give you a free example of the mindsets that I had for 2025, 2026, just to inspire you, because I feel like this is kind of confusing. I have my journals here. This is my, I mean, 2020, yeah, 2024. This is my 2026 journal. So, okay. So an example of the mindset that I had was discipline. I think I really need to work on my discipline, not on my motivation to do things, just on doing things. Even if I don't want to, even if I don't, yeah, basically, even if I don't want to. That's my only reason why sometimes I don't do things. I just have to do them because I have to, because I said I would. And I think I really need to work on that mindset shift. I also want to work on going the extra mile. I definitely think I'm someone that likes to work smarter, not harder. I think some aspects of my life are really better if I go the extra mile. All right, so I hope those examples can give you a bit more direction. I'm also going to put a few mindset example if I find them. If they apply to your goals, make sure to write them down as well. So the first step is a lot easier, and now it's just going to be to make a clean list of your goals, right? Straight to the point, no fluff, no reflections on them like we did on step 2, and it's just going to be your goals and how you're going to quantify that you achieved them. So for this part, I know I'm saying like quantifiable goals, but I don't really necessarily mean numbers, although that's usually what it means. I mean more like a checklisting, right? Like when I'm gonna sit with myself on December 31st, 2026, what can I check mark? So for example, one of my goals that's straight to the point for 2026 is have at least 2 weekly consistent physical activities to stay in shape. And for me, that's gonna be salsa or maybe Pilates or trapeze. I'm gonna see. And a goal that maybe doesn't sound as quantifiable, but would still be something I can check mark, put a mark on. I don't think check marks are right. Anyway, sorry. English lacking sometimes. But yeah, something I can put a check on a list at the end of the year would be bike longer distances this year. And that's because I didn't really want to put like a specific distance, because who knows like where I'm gonna go. Maybe like it's hard to already predict like how much longer. But I know how much I bike this year, and I know how I'm gonna feel if I bike longer distances at the end of the year, you know? And also another thing, so for these, like you're kind of gonna have to come back to them at the end of the year. But for me personally, like this week, I don't think I have 2 physical activities scheduled that I'm gonna start. And the next week too, probably I won't have that. Although no, actually I will sign up on ClassPass to my next physical activity, but whatever. Um it's just like I kind of want it to be more of a general trend. And that's for me, basically as a lazy girl. that's trying to be more disciplined. Whatever that means. So for me, at the end of the year, I really want to look at the trend of how I approach the year. So basically, like 80% of the time, did I have two physical activities that I did every week? Yes or no? It can't just be like every time I was doing this thing, because I think it adds a lot of pressure. And then you miss one week and suddenly you're like, oh, what's the point anymore? Or maybe that's just me once again, lazy girl. But like, it's just cuddle yourself a little bit. Like make easy goal, under promise, over deliver. I like that. But still try to push yourself. Okay, so the last step is really optional, honestly. This is more of like a fun step that I like to do for myself, and I also like to give it as a present for me next year. So I like to write a list of prediction for the year of what I think is gonna happen. It doesn't necessarily need to be like super serious goals, right? It can just be like, oh, me and these friends will go on this trip, or like this friend's gonna get into a relationship this year. And I just think like it's a fun thing to do. Like I've done it with my friends sometimes. Like we do like joint prediction. I also do it just for like how I think my life is gonna pan out. And yeah, it's just like fun to look back on. And it just gives something like less serious to look at the end of year two, that you can just laugh at as well and be like, oh my god, like this girl like was so right about this, or like, oh wow, like this is so far from what actually happened this year. And the other thing I like to do as well is to write a letter to myself for the new year. So that's something that I did in 2025, and actually that letter got me so emotional when I read it last night. In 2025, I felt like I had so much fun, but I almost just felt like I had fun. Like I didn't really learn anything, I didn't really do anything. Like I feel like I wasn't as intentional because I hadn't read my entry in so long. And I just felt like, especially since, like I said, in my early 20s, I was so focused on switching career. I was so intentional. I was so like driven and motivated and a little crazy, to be honest. Just felt like 2025 was just a year for fun. Not a year I wasted, but like a year I had fun and like pumped myself up. But then when I read back my letter to myself, it's like that's exactly what I wanted for this year. I literally did everything that my 2024, yeah, 2024, all the years are like blending in together. My 2024 self wanted me to do, and all the questions that I had for myself. So I asked a bunch of questions like, what happened? Did you make new friends? Like, how is pottery doing? And all these things made me so happy because it's like, oh, like all these intentions that I set for the year, like I actually did them. And yeah, writing a letter to your end of the year 2026 self is such a nice exercise to do. It's like a little gift. And also, this letter could have gone, either way. Like, it could have also gone in, like, I made zero friends this year, like, pottery, like, I dropped all my pots and, like, they're out the window now. I'm never going back to any studio ever again. But it's still fun to see, like, maybe a turn of event, or, like, oh, I actually didn't make any friends this year because, I don't know, like, I moved to a new country. It's just, like, a fun way to reflect. And it kind of helps you with the prompt on when you want to reflect on the previous year. So I definitely suggest to do that as well. All right, so now we've come to the end of the video, and I really hope that this video was helpful for you. It was really fun for me to share those tips with you. And also, I was thinking of maybe doing like a worksheet on like how I do those reflections, just so that you can have it all on paper. So if that's something that would be interesting to you, let me know in the comments down below. If you like this video, make sure to click the like button, of course, and also leave a comment to let me know what you've enjoyed and also what you do during your new Year reflections, because I'm open to exchanging ideas. Like, this is nice. So yeah, thank you for watching. Have a good day. Have a great 2026, and I hope that all your dreams come true. Bye.